Hey, what's up guys? My name is Edward Ornelas, and in today's video, I'm going to get into some Bitcoin price action, okay? But before getting started, I do have a huge announcement by the end of the video, so stay tuned towards the end and, for you guys to get into it, okay? In my last video, I talked about how Bitcoin had bottomed out, right? And during that time period, right, during that whole time period that I talked about it, I was actually really hesitant to upload that video. Reason I say that is because it's a very controversial time, right? People are bearish when price is down and are bullish when price is up, right? So that just has been the overall stigma. Even back when Bitcoin was at 20,000, I remember talking about how Bitcoin was going to go back down to 6,000, and people were just very adamant that nope, this is it's going to go to the moon, and even though it had pretty much already had done so, and so now it's pretty obvious that I think that the bottoming has occurred, and where we're currently standing. Okay, so now let's talk about it, where we're at, and what I see happening with the next maybe perhaps few weeks. I will keep updating now. I'll upload consistently, so you guys can keep up the tabs if you guys want to. But first and foremost, I think after we end up breaking that resistance structure around that 4,200 range, we finally ended up making some higher highs. And for the longest time, right, for the past few weeks, we were consolidating within this range right here, right? So, I mean, this was honestly a really good trading zone. You could have just bought it at the bottom of the wedge range. Any single time it bounced back and forth, and it'd just be consolidating for a long time. It wasn't until right here, that we finally saw some huge accumulation going on, right? And you can probably even see it on the volume, right? If we pull up the volume structure, you can see that on the volume, there was lower volume. Typically, when lower volume happens, it means either one of two things. One, that sellers are losing steam, or that buyers are losing steam. In this case, you can see that it was the sellers that were losing steam. And so we ended up breaking above. Another way to confirm that why we would have broken above was because of the 200 moving average. Any single time the 200 moving average creeps up like this, it usually signifies that there's going to be some more upside, usually, right? The reason I say is because if you were to utilize this throughout the entire move up, you can see that the 200 moving average literally played a huge role since back down here, when it broke above that 3,600 resistance. And then, at that point, every single time it deviate below, it pretty much creep right up on it, and then it just bounced right up, And so it's no different that, that what occurred right here. The 200 moving average had propped up, creeped up on it, and now, we're seeing some higher highs. Personally though, now we are at resistance. Reason I say that is because if we actually zoom out on the daily time frame, we are now at that weekly resistance where Bitcoin, if you guys remember, for a long time, 6,000, or roughly around there, 6,000 zone was a strong accumulation period for 8 months at a time, right? From the month of February all the way up until November, people were accumulating. And so it is, my opinion, is going to be very strong or very hard for Bitcoin to try to break above this resistance. And not just 6,000, right? I do believe that, this could even deviate as far as 6,400. Reason I say that is because if we go on the 4 hourly, right? And, all right, let me zoom out of that, okay? And so if you pull up the Fibonacci extension, right, from the low of its channel all the way up to its prior highs, you can see that, this, it's currently at that 1-to-1 extension resistance line, okay? And so now I do believe that we're probably going to end up pulling back from here, right? And then if we do the same at current price action, right? So if we pull up again the low of the channel all the way up to its current highs, you can see that it's going to be similarly back up to its 1-to-1 channel extension. You can see that's going to be at that 6,400 range or so. And so that's why I believe you can actually even move this down a little bit, right down to there. You can see it's probably even at that 6,370 resistance structure right below the 6,400. And so that's why I believe that right here around this vicinity, around anywhere from 66,000 to 6,400, it's going to be a really tough time for Bitcoin to break it. And so if we actually zoom out on the longer time frame, what I believe is going to happen once we hit those resistance structures, and again, this is not financial advice, this is based on personal technical analysis, is that if we end up trying to attempt to break out right here, we're probably going to end up trying to attempt a few breakouts, double top, and then end up seeing retracements down towards that EMA structure. Because like I said before, we do have to eventually, even though it deviates for a long time, we're eventually going to have to retrace back down to it, because if you actually go back in time, right? Back in 2015, we had similar occurring situation, right? Where Bitcoin had broken above that 200 moving average, and then we ended up attempting to break that resistance structure, its accumulation period back at 3100. It failed to do so, and it ended up double topping, and then eventually retracing back down to that 200 moving average, and then below back down to its support structure, right? So right around that area, back down to confirm that it's a strong support structure. And so personally, I think this is where things are going to get a little bit controversial, because I do think a lot of people believe that this thing could just end up consolidating, right? Doing something like this where it just consolidates for a long period of time and ends up going up. That is a possibility. Personally, for me though, I believe that I think Bitcoin's going to end up trying to attempt a double top and then end up retracing back down to that 3100 support structure. But again, that's more of a prediction style right there. I think that it's better to just play it on a day-to-day basis, or I should say on a weekly basis, and see where Bitcoin ends up landing. So recently I opened up the Discord to the public. Do is go on into the description below, on the link below, just click on it, and it should take you to a page that looks something like this. Right, so what you have to do is read the terms and agreements, and then just head on over to this thing called landing zone, right? And once you head on to the landing zone, just type in agree, okay? And once you type in agree, you will be taken into the into the chat. And so you can see right here we have our terms and agreements. We also have the table of contents, so you're able to go over what exactly we talk about, what we discuss about in this chat. We have our trading patterns, what I think is very, very important, to understand those. We also have terminology when we talk about trading as well. We have some announcements. Anytime I announce something special, and this is right here where we have the general tab, right, where we all just go in there and discuss about pretty much a lot of things. Right here, this is a new tab. I recently just opened it up to the public, so there's not much going on. But as soon as we get more members in there, we'll definitely have a lot more discussions in there. We have right here the memes tab. So if you guys want to discuss memes, there we go. That's where we have it all right there. And news, this is where we regularly keep a lot of news updates. All right. So if you want to stay on top of all the news, just stay in there. And of course, we also have our profits tab where we discuss about all the profits that we make regarding trades and whatnot. Right here we have our YouTube uploads, and then our podcast uploads, right? So recently me, Ryan, King Wabi, Luis, Ryan, I'm sorry, I already said Ryan, Dimson, Kamal, we've all recently just started up this podcast. So if you guys want to listen to us, just head on over to the Discord, click on the link below, and you guys should be able to listen to our discussions. We basically discuss fundamentals and news topics regarding crypto. And of course, we also do have a voice chat, right? So if you're interested in trying to, discuss with us, with me, just hop on over to the voice chat, let me know, and now we'll get on with you guys. So yeah, so that was the news. So if you guys want to join that, be sure to let me know. And the link will be in the description below. And like I said before, if you guys enjoy this content, this technical analysis, be sure to give a like, and subscribe, and let me know. Just leave a comment below, guys. It really helps me out when you guys comment, and so I have a general idea what you guys are thinking about. So with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one.